As we all get ready to head back to school, I wanted to share with you guys 5 ways that I organize our homeschool. So some of these ideas you may already do or you may already have heard of, but you may not be in the stage of your life where you can execute it the way that I'm doing. My kids are older, so I don't have babies and toddlers pulling things off the shelves. So you'll see some things are in lower areas of the home, but just know that the idea you can still use, but maybe execute it a little differently. So one of the first ways that I organize our homeschool is having a library bin. We all know that library books get pulled in all different directions. They're all over the house, in the car, they're left at the grandparents' house. So a simple solution for our home is to leave everything in a bin right in our homeschool room / dining room. We need to have a central place where we can keep all of our library books and make sure that they're returned on time. So one of the first things that I implemented was we have a librarian. One of my kids will take that duty for a month and then we'll switch off. That person is in charge of taking the library books with us every time we leave to go to the library. So having a library bin in a central area, it doesn't have to be a bin, it could be a shelf on your bookshelf. It could be a basket at the bottom of your stairs. Some place where you can keep all of the books together, where you will, number 1, read them and see them. Number 2, when you're done reading them, the kids know where to put the books back. And then number 3, you have them all ready to go when they need to go back to the library. Second thing I do in our homeschool, which you don't need to do, but it's helpful for me, I bought a buffet cabinet storage area to store all of our games. Now we use games every single day in our homeschool, and I wanted them to be organized in a way where I could easily grab them at the beginning of the day, the beginning of the week, by subject. So I separate our board games by subject. In our cabinets, I have the games that we currently love, and I just keep those in the cabinet by subject. So we have other games in other areas of the home, mainly in the basement, and I kind of just rotate them out every couple of weeks or every couple of months, so we have a fresh batch to choose from. One shelf I have our language arts games, and then another shelf I have our math games. And then I decided to dedicate a shelf to our history games and kind of like mystery or critical thinking games as well. And then some logic and things like that are mixed in to our shelves. But just so that they're separate and the kids can find them and I can find them and we can pull them out. I've added like art supplies in there as well, because we do have some kind of art games that I found and art supplies I like to leave in there. We don't have a big selection of art supplies, like painting and things like that, because I don't know if my boys are really interested in it. So I grabbed a few things for our back to school haul and put them in there so the boys can grab them easily. And those are always in a basket so they can be put back properly. I also utilize the other side of our room that has bookshelves. At the bottom there's drawers, and inside of the drawers I keep some more of our games that aren't necessarily divided up by subject, but they're games that we use all the time. And then in the other drawer I keep all of our smaller games like card games and dice games, all in that area, just because when they were in the cabinet it was kind of hard to see everything and move everything around. So I wanted to give it a little more breathing room, and I moved them all over here to a drawer. The third rule that I implemented in our homeschool for me and for my kids is all our supplies are in one place. So when I first started homeschooling, probably it was almost 14 years ago, my husband's one request is that our house not look like a classroom. And I said, okay, I can do that. How do you keep your decor but also have room for your supplies and little charts and little things that you have for your kids? So it's been a struggle kind of having a mix of both of them, but I feel like now that my kids are older, I don't need a lot of the posters and the bulletin boards and things like that that I used to have before. So it's easier to kind of keep everything contained, because when the school day is over, I wanted to go back looking like my house. I want everyone to be able, I want guests to be able to walk in and not feel like they're walking into a classroom. That's just my or our family's personal preference, but that could be different for you. But for us, we wanted to, when school's over, learning time is over, everything has a place, and that is my number 3. Everything has a place. All the school supplies have a place where they go. The games, the books, the notebooks, the extra paper, the Lego sets, the library books, everything needs to have a place. If it doesn't, we either create a place or it may be time to organize and get rid of some things, give them to cousins, take them to our church, take them to donation, or if it's broken or old, just throw it out and get rid of it. I do not like to have an overwhelming amount of anything, except for maybe books and games. I think that's where I kind of toe the line. Books and games, I don't think you can ever have too many as long as you read them and you use them. But just papers and supplies and just extra things laying around, I don't want to have too much of that because it just causes our space to look cluttered and feel cluttered, and we're already in a small space. So I want to just make sure that everything has a place and that the drawers or doors can be closed and we don't have to see it. So when I'm on break week, I don't necessarily want to see all of our curriculum and all of our notebooks and all the things I have to grade and I want it to be put away in a place where when I'm ready for it, I can pull it out and get to work. So that leads me into my number 4 way that we stay organized is minimal curriculum purchases. And that includes supplies and things like that. I love curriculum. I want to buy it all. Books, activities, everything. I want to buy it all, but I know we don't have the space, we don't need it all, and we won't use it all. So I try to make sure that I'm very, very intentional with the curriculum that I do buy. I do not buy the curriculum until we actually need it, unless it's on sale or something like that, where it's like you got to get it now or you can't get it at all. But I try to wait and not purchase for our whole entire year at the beginning of the year. Their interests may change, my interests may change, so I don't want to be trapped in something, a curriculum or a project that I can't return or, you know, give back if we happen to change our minds. So I like to make sure that when I am planning that I'm very intentional and specific about what we're going to try and what we're going to use and try to get the best prices on what we are ordering. Number 5 way of staying organized in our homeschool is a weekly planning session. So I learned this from a homeschool mom. Her name it just escaped me right now, but I'll link her podcasts and YouTube videos below. But this was years ago when I first started, and she talked about a planning retreat. So any day you can, hers was on Saturday, so I try to do Saturday to try to get away to the library or a coffee house. If you have small children, you may not be able to do that in this season. I used to go into my bedroom and try to get 30 minutes to kind of plan out not just our homeschool, but our home life, meal planning, you know, things that family nights, things that I wanted to do. Try to get a weekly planning session. See what worked, what didn't work that week, and readjust to whatever you may need. I still do that today. Sometimes I leave the house, sometimes I don't. I try to tell the kids, they're older now, so it's like, hey, can you guys watch a movie? Mom needs 2 hours. Do not disturb me. I'm gonna try to get as much done as I can in that 2 hours of just focused attention on planning our upcoming week or maybe a couple weeks, meal planning, doing some things around the house, making a grocery list, those things like that. Every week, try to do that on any day that works for you. If Saturday morning works for you, then try to do it every Saturday morning. I hope you guys found some helpful tips in this video. Let me know below, what are your favorite ways to organize your homeschool? I hope you have a great back to school celebration, and I will see you guys in the next video.